Okay, so we're back. We're just figuring out like the whole uploading things to YouTube and how much room there is on John's phone to be able to make the videos, to be able to process the videos, all that stuff. So, figuring out that they need to be 20 minutes or less is what we're doing right now. So this is the last installment of the Chapter 7 unit on small group dynamics and communication and how things come together and work and flow and all of that with small groups. So we just talked about leadership styles, and that's how we ended the last video, talking about are they authoritarian, their word is law, are they more democratic where they want to hear everybody's input. That doesn't mean that they're going to go with the crowd. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to change their minds or policy will change because within the group because of input, but it means that there's freedom for input. And most likely, these types of leaders do make decisions based on consensus with the group. So, and then you have the laissez-faire, the lazy sort of leader who's just kind of like, yeah, I'm here for you if you need me, do your own thing, it's all good, you're smart, you know what you're doing, and don't really have like the coordination or the motivation to accept responsibility for how the group runs. Maybe they are conflict avoidance and oriented, so they're not comfortable directing their peers. They feel like that's an issue. In fact, at the IBS conference, I just took the radio station students to, back when life was sort of normal, they had a couple of workshops on peer leadership, and the focus being on like it's difficult to direct people that are your peers, right? You feel like you're at the same level as them, so you don't want to alienate them or make them mad. And that's an important element. So people who are laissez-faire leaders think about that stuff a lot. So there's power within leadership. And this is how people keep their positions of leadership. And this is how they sort of run the group. It's true, Reg. Come here. Did you want to talk to everybody too? Sit down. It's okay. Reggie says hi to you guys. He's whining because I'm lecturing. Because what else should he be doing? Life should remain a little bit normal. Okay, so there's the coercive authority figure, the coercive leader. They coerce you into doing things. So they have the authority to inflict punishment. They also have the authority to inflict reward too. And when you think about that within like the school itself, think about Dr. Butcher, who's the Associate Dean of Students under Academic Life, right? If you have an issue in a class or with a professor or with your grades, he has the ability to inflict punishment as a motivation or inflict reward. He coerces. He has coercive authority. He doesn't always use it. That's not Greg Butcher's style, but he does have it. It's there. He could use it if he wants. The police have that kind of authority. If you don't follow instructions, you could go to jail. You could get ticketed. And they have the authority to inflict punishment. So I have that authority if I chose to wield it in my, evil teaching ways. By giving you a lower grade than maybe I could have, or failing you in some way. So I have the authority to do that, and so. But coercive also, there could be positive coercion. So, and that falls under reward. So those who reward accomplishment or contribution. So oftentimes people who are, as I just said, coercive in some way. So the coercive person could also be the bully that's sort of like lord of your dormitory hallway. And if you don't do his math homework for him, he's going to make your life miserable. So that's coercive authority. A bully uses that. Reward. Bullies use reward too because they reward their flying monkeys. They reward the people that do things for them. And And so I reward you as a leader of this class with grades and praise and things like that. And parents reward you. They use reward leadership also. So, um, but we're talking about power, like how people are able to maintain leadership. Maybe they have the power to inflict punishment or something uncomfortable. Maybe they have the power to give reward. Maybe they are referent. And so what that means, REFERENT, referent. It's based on admiration and liking. So you follow this leader, they have a power because everybody likes them. They're such a nice guy. They're such a great girl. They're so much fun to be with. You feel good when you're with them, and so they automatically get some power of authority in a group. Or they maintain their power because based on likability. So you see this too with people maybe trying a little bit too hard to be liked and make everybody happy in a group situation. If the, as a way to maintain and keep power, right? Manage power, legitimate power. So people sometimes are able to maintain or exercise power in a group because of their status. So maybe you were designated by your professor as the leader of a group. Maybe you were designated as a supervisor at work as a group leader. Maybe it's just your role to be a police officer or to be a priest or a pastor in charge of a congregation. And so you have that legitimate power because of your status, what your role is in society, as well as within the group. So in our society, police officers have a legitimate power. They also hold their power through being coercive, not so much reward. They don't really care about being liked, but they definitely have legitimate power. And then experts. So that's the next form of holding on to power, managing leadership or maintaining leadership in a group. So expert is based on knowledge or expertise. So you know something or you're an expert at something that's vital to everybody else's success or thriving within the group. Whether it's knowledge that you have that will move the project forward or other types of things that they just can't live without you because you're the expert in that field. So that's another way that people are able to maintain leadership and power within a group. And then informational, so you possess the knowledge. So that's like the expert, again, this tags into that, it dovetails into it. So informational, person's knowledge, possesses knowledge that others don't have. So maybe they have a skill that other people don't have, so that's the expertise. Maybe they have information that other people don't have, and so that's how they hold on to their leadership. And you can maybe see this with the person who thinks that they have an inside track to upper management or things that go on behind the scenes or stuff that normal everyday people don't have the inside track to, so they're able to maintain their power that way. And then you finally have is that right? Connectional, not correctional. Connectional, so what does that mean? That's it's not what you know, it's who you know. So your leadership is very much based on the fact that you knew the right people in order to be put in charge of this project, or you had the right connections. So that's another way that people gain, maintain, hold on to power in a group. Right? All right, so getting toward the end here, kiddos. Some examples, they just show pictures here, and I'm going to post the PowerPoint so you could reread these if you want to get more clarification. You sure can. I've got some links I'll be posting too if you want to take a look at those later on, just, pertaining to this topic. But anyways, so there's the coercive, it's the, making you do something, and then the referent would be, everybody likes me, I'm the nicest person, and that's how I maintain my power and leadership. And then informational, you've got the keys to the kingdom, you're also the expert maybe. So they need you for that. You're in that leadership role for that. Right. And then for a final thought, it says, you know, being part of a successful group means not only making compromises, but also understanding group dynamics. And that's what this has all been about. And remember what I said, that a lot of this is based on psychology studies, marketing, come here, sociology, different kinds of academic practices that do research into people's behavior. It's very important to be able to create a group, whether it's a primary group or a task-oriented group, that has a successful foundation, that comes together for a specific purpose, whether it's to receive love and belonging and acceptance and camaraderie, or it's to accomplish a task, that the group have a good foundation. And some of that is understanding the normal sort of phases and shifts of things that happen when a group of people who don't normally come together, maybe in a task-oriented group, have to work things out in order to accomplish their goal. And so they go through some difficult passages. At first everything's great, and then it gets a little more difficult. Then they start to focus, and then the project is finished, and then they disband, or they don't, right? Or they don't, but the group changes and morphs in some way or another because that project's over. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing about small group interaction and small group dynamics. Yes, you already deal with a lot of this stuff, but isn't it interesting to kind of understand the explanation behind why some of the things that happen? This will give you kind of a different perspective the next time you're involved in a committee, or you know, for one of your organizations you belong to, or in group work in this class, and everybody comes together at first and they're all excited, and then things start to go a little wonky, cuckoo, falling apart. And instead of panicking, you can know, well, this is the natural process of things. So, you know, looking forward to the next phase in this, where we kind of iron all that stuff out and everybody finds where in the wheel their cog belongs. They start to feel like they're part of a thing bigger than themselves, which is a lot of times why people join groups like churches and families and sororities and fraternities and service organizations. They want to feel like there's doing something that's bigger than themselves. So that's the feeling behind it, and understanding the processes of how all these things work and come together is, you know, going to serve you better when you go to function, or maybe you become a leader of a group. What kind of leader do you want to be? Do you want to be authoritative, where you are giving out a lot of coercion and punishment, and, you know, not allowing for the exchange of ideas and feelings? And I don't know why my phone keeps ringing, but I'm ignoring it. Sorry, folks, for that. But do you want to be that kind of a leader that creates groupthink and, you know, manages things out of fear and intimidation? Do you want to be a lazy, non-confrontational, laissez-faire sort of leader that is also equally ineffective? Because that's the opposite end of the stick. It's probably better to fall somewhere in the middle of democracy. So there's authoritative and authoritarian. And authoritarian is more of the dictator. Authoritative, IVE, is more of the Democrat. They have an authority, they have a leadership role, they are comfortable in it, but they also include other people in the group in the decision-making process, and listen more. There's better dynamics that way. So anyway, again, please read chapter 8. I will have our next set of videos uploaded by Monday, so don't forget to check in at regular class time from 10 a.m. to 10 after 10 for attendance for our class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't forget to check the week's block for Moodle and see what else is up there. That's a resource for you or an assignment. And check your email. Check your emails. Get in the habit of it. So I hope I get to see you guys really soon, and I'll talk to you later. Email me.